Yeah, Stony Brook!
Where Ming also used to be. And,
Am I recording?
I was his roommates for 1 year and then suite mates for 2. And I've known him since I don't know. I was like probably, let's see, he's older than me 1 year. I was probably 3. I knew you when you were 4, right? Roughly around. So when I was told to speak, they were like, prepare something, and I was like, all right, I'll try to prepare something. And I didn't really write anything down, and they said, you could share about anything. So I decided to share about how he impacted my life. So ever since we were young, okay, I remember, what did we used to do together? I remember, okay, I'm going to start from when we were really young. I remember going to his house, and then we used to have family fellowship there, and all the kids, we used to go to his room, and we would just hang out. And back then, we used to have, I don't know why, but we had this construction paper on his door, and it would have a name of a whole bunch of us, and I believe Ming was the Hulk. That was his superhero, right? You were the Hulk. I don't know why you chose the Hulk. No, we all chose a superhero. There was YY's brother who isn't here right now, but he was the Red Ranger, and I don't know why I was the Green Ranger. But you were the Hulk. I remember that, and I remember I used to watch you play Pokemon Blue, I believe. That was what it was. And you had the Game Boy, so we all used to stand around you, or whoever had the Game Boy, all the kids would stand around, and we would watch you play, and I was a little envious, Game Boy Pocket.
The green Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah,
I still have
yeah.
that.
And as we grew older, I remember. At one point, we used to play computer games a lot, and one of them was Little Fighter 2.
Yeah.
And so you introduced me to games like Little Fighter 2, Neopets. I remember playing that with you. I remember that was actually one of the first video games I ever played on the computer. So as you can tell, it has affected my life greatly. It's because I play lots of video games. And I remember playing RuneScape. You were the first person to introduce RuneScape to me. So, I played a lot of games, and I remember, I used to throw, tantrums whenever I got mad. I would just press all the keys on the keyboard, and I was just like, dang it, I died, or whatever, or I didn't get to play, or,
You've been playing, like rounds, right, on the computer? And at the end of the round, and he died, and he knew his turn was up. Right before he got up to leave, so I could play the next round, he would just do that. And then he'd get up and like louder.
Yeah, and that was very nice. And, you used to be like, "Whoa, that's not cool, man. That's not cool." And I hope I've changed since then. And then I remember. Do you remember us going to the park one time and we called 911? Were you there? And then we got in trouble because,
right?
Yeah, huh?
With Alvin too?
Yeah, Alvin, YY. We were at the park. It was a family gathering of, the fellowship of the church, a lot of people. So us being kids, we were just roaming around the park, and we saw, payphone. What do you do with payphones, You can't really call anything if you don't have money. So, the three numbers. There's 311, we called that, and then we're like, there's 911, why not, right? We called it, and long and behold, we hung up really quickly because someone actually responded. And we were like, oh, what do we say? Just hang up, And then, being the smart people we were, we hung around, and then
the park ranger came.
The park ranger or the cop actually came to the payphone. He's like, were you the kids who called 911? And then we all got in trouble. I remember getting in trouble when I got home. And I was like, oh, I didn't know about it. I didn't know they were calling 911. I'm pretty sure I was very, pushing it. No, we should call it. As I grew older, I remember, he introduced me to doing sound, for the church. And I remember seeing him doing sound all the time because I guess he learned from his dad. And, that was always really cool. I was like, oh, you know all these things. And he used to know, all these things about the computers and all this stuff, and he would introduce me, and that kind of, inspired me. I remember him, when Kaza was still around, when it first came out, he introduced me to Kazoo, which is the peer-to-peer sharing thing. And I remember he helped me download my first illegal song. I didn't know what song it was. It was Everywhere by Michelle Branch.
Oh yeah.
It was a good song. He has influenced my music taste. I remember when I used to listen to Linkin Park a lot. Versus Meteora, and then when Live in Texas came out, you burned me a copy of it because you bought it and you're like, oh, it's really good, and you showed me that. You introduced me to System of a Down, which is pretty cool. I remember that. I still have their songs on iPod, and I think of you every time it comes on. And so you've influenced a lot in my life, and I have a lot of memories of you. It goes on and on, and I think for all of us, we all have those memories of you. It might not be the same as mine, but you've impacted my life, and I thank you for that. I believe it's a positive manner. And one thing I really take away from you is that you know when it's a good time to be serious, and you also know how to have fun. I see it in school when you study hard, but then when it comes down to relax, you still have fun with us. And that's something I can really respect, and I thank you for impacting my life.